Rachel Jenkins was Brooklyn born and bred. She knew its streets like the back of her hand. The brownstone stoops, the smell of pizza from corner shops, the shouts of kids playing stickball, these were the sounds of her childhood. Rachel always wanted to give back to her community, to keep it safe. Becoming a police officer was her dream. It wasn't about power, it was about protection. After graduating high school, Rachel aced the police academy. It was tough, demanding, but she thrived on the challenge. The physical training pushed her to her limits. The legal studies sharpened her mind. Through it all, Rachel never lost sight of her goal, to wear the badge and serve her city. Graduation day was the proudest of her life. She'd earned her place in the NYPD. Her first assignment was the 75th Precinct in East New York. Back in her own borough, she felt a surge of excitement. This was her chance to make a real difference. The 75th Precinct was a world away from the academy. The streets were tougher, the crimes were real. Rachel's first few weeks were a whirlwind of calls, domestic disputes, petty thefts, noise complaints. She learned to handle each situation with a calm head and a firm hand. One thing was clear, Rachel was a natural. She had a way of talking to people, of diffusing tense situations. Residents started to recognize her, to trust her. They saw a young officer who genuinely cared about their neighborhood. "Officer Jenkins, you're one of the good ones," an elderly woman once told her. Those words meant the world to Rachel. But the job wasn't without its challenges. She saw the toll that crime took on her community, the fear in people's eyes after a robbery, the grief of families torn apart by violence. It fueled Rachel's determination to make a difference. She knew the streets could be dangerous, but she wouldn't let fear control her. It was a chilly Tuesday evening when the call came through. "Armed robbery in progress," the dispatcher's voice crackled over the radio. "Suspect fleeing on foot." Adrenaline surged through Rachel as she jumped into her patrol car. This was it, a chance to put all her training into action. The robbery had taken place at a local grocery store, just a few blocks from where Rachel was patrolling. She arrived to find the store owner shaken but unharmed. "He had a knife!" the man exclaimed, pointing down the street. "He ran that way, took all the money from the register." Rachel didn't hesitate. She radioed in the suspect's description, a young man in a black hoodie, and took off in hot pursuit. The chase was on. Rachel's heart pounded as she sprinted down the sidewalk. She could see the suspect in the distance, a shadowy figure weaving through the evening crowds. "Stop! Police!" she shouted, her voice echoing through the streets. But the suspect kept running. He dodged pedestrians, jumped over fences, desperate to escape. Rachel refused to give up. Her academy training kicked in. She pushed herself harder, her breath catching in her throat. She could feel the weight of her badge on her chest, a symbol of her duty. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the suspect stumbled and fell. Rachel was on him in an instant, her hands moving swiftly to secure the arrest. It was over. The suspect was apprehended, the stolen cash recovered. The store owner was ecstatic, showering Rachel with gratitude. "You were amazing, Officer Jenkins," he exclaimed, relief washing over his face. "You got him." News of Rachel's bravery spread through the neighborhood. People stopped her on the street, thanking her for keeping them safe. Standing tall, Rachel felt a surge of pride. This was why she became a police officer. This was her city, her community, and she had sworn to protect it. Looking down at her badge gleaming under the streetlights, she knew she had found her true calling. This was more than a job, it was a badge of honor.